Happy Global TC Day. We're coming to you live from President Susan Fuhrman's office here at Teachers College, and we're thrilled to be continuing the tradition of Global TC Day, which started in 2013 as part of our 125th anniversary. And since then, every other summer, we host Global TC Day all around the world. So this year, we wanted to bring campus to you, for all of you that are near and far tuning in live, and we hope you'll share your questions with us as we take this opportunity to get to know President Fuhrman a little bit better and check in with how things are going at Teachers College. It's been a really exciting time, as you know. For those of you that have been staying in touch with what's happening as part of Global TC Day, we have about almost 40 events that have been planned. We're about halfway through, and we have several events taking place today, several more taking place this week. We've had a couple of virtual opportunities. We'll archive this, so if you want to come back to it, feel free to do that. And we hope we'll see you at events throughout the year. As you may know, President Fuhrman will be ending her term at Teachers College in May after 12 years of...
June.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. I extended it 2 more months. I don't want you to leave,
no,
Susan.
Right?
So she'll be done in June. And but we have an exciting year ahead. It's going to be very busy, and we're going to be traveling to meet alumni all over and have wonderful events taking place here on campus. But we're just really excited to have this opportunity to start here from sort of ground zero at the place where it all happens and all of the planning begins. And I guess from my point of view, I'm always excited to connect with alumni and to hear what our alumni are doing and see the impact. But I was just thinking maybe we'd start with, what does it mean to you to be a TC alumna?
Well, you know that you've had the best preparation, the best education there is for your profession, for your scholarship, for whatever career and whatever opportunities you're pursuing. So you know when you emerge from TC that you are as prepared as you could be, and importantly, you're a lifelong learner. You always are able to adapt and to progress and to take in new knowledge, and in fact to discover that new knowledge and move the field because you're a TC graduate. We have so many eminent alums in every field of endeavor. Only just this year we were able to go to art retrospectives of 3 of our wonderful female artists, of course Georgia O'Keeffe, but also Alma Thomas and Agnes Martin, all of whom were celebrated all over the world. And that's just one example of the eminence of TC alums and the kind of difference they can make in the world.
I think that's so true. We really do come in contact with so many alumni from so many diverse backgrounds. And today we also have logging in, we have alumni, we have current students, and we have our newly admitted students. So for those that found Teachers College maybe for their very specific area of study, could you help maybe elaborate why an institution like Teachers College, or named Teachers College, has programs in nursing education, creative technologies, organization psychology, and how all of that works together, and why that breadth is so relevant to Teachers College?
Yes, it's always a challenge to explain that our name, while historic, lovely, and completely honorable and admirable, it doesn't encompass everything we do. We, of course, do prepare teachers. I hope many of you are logging in today, but we also prepare communication scientists or exercise physiologists or policy analysts, administrators, people who develop instructional technologies. So it's a big umbrella. And I think that's what's needed for today, just as it was when Grace Dodge envisioned it 130 years ago. Problems are not bounded and fit neatly into a particular disciplinary solution. But in order to address challenges, you need that breadth, the perspective of many disciplines. As Grace Dodge saw it, if you were going to educate children, you also had to attend to their families and work with their communities, and that involved health and within a few years, psychology. And that's how we have grown to be this broad umbrella that prepares people for the multidisciplinary nature of the challenges they're going to face.
So I hope those of you watching online will send your questions in on the chat, in the comments section, and we'll get to those as they come in. We did have a few questions that were sent to us in advance, so I'll continue on with one of those. Susan, public education in America and many of the key components that support it seem to be in question as never before. So why does public education matter? And what is the role that you see top schools of education in general, and Teachers College in particular, playing in order to preserve, revitalize, and advance public education?
Public education matters because it is the fundamental institution in this country that unites everybody and prepares for an educated and well-informed citizenry. It is the experience that we hope all children will share, and therefore all cultures, all ethnicities, children from every background will come together in public schools, public institutions, and develop the knowledge and skills and dispositions they need to keep this democracy flourishing, and flourishing in this in the sense of honoring diversity and understanding and respecting other cultures. I totally understand that that's the ideal, and that we have many failing public schools. I think that they're there for complex reasons, and we need to be drawing on many disciplines as we try to address and support the challenges facing public schools. But nonetheless, the notion that we should bring everybody into one tent, into one house, remains central and bedrock to our democracy. I've watched choice and voucher programs around the world, and whatever happens with respect to student achievement, and the results are very mixed, there's a clear pattern that the ability of parents to choose the school means they choose children like their own children to go to school with, and it advances segregation, racial, ethnic, religious, and socioeconomic.
Absolutely. So we're hoping Teachers College will make an impact in changing that. Critics of education schools also seem to discount the importance of education research, as well as research in health and psychology that bears on learning. Why do you believe that research is so important, and how has education research become more scientific, and where does TC stand in leading that effort?
Education research is central. I mean, you know, imagine if you had a surgeon, and no matter how expert she was at making the incisions, she had no knowledge really of anatomy or how or pathology, or the understanding of the interaction between genetics and pathology, which is, you know, on the cutting edge of that research. So you wouldn't want your surgeon to be ignorant of all those factors affecting the human body as she was operating. Well, the same thing goes in education. There's a body of knowledge about how people learn, about how they encounter others, and about how the context matters for what they learn and how they learn. And that body of knowledge, of course, needs to be mastered by people who are going into education, but is also expanding as we go into new areas of science that help us understand learning. Neuroscience is a great example of something that didn't really exist in education 20 years ago, but is now shedding great insight. We have a study going on now here about how students with reading challenges are using a certain intervention, and the study is based on brain scans of the extent to which the intervention enables them to compensate by using the appropriate lobe that readers who don't struggle use. So that, I mean, that kind of expertise wasn't available 20 years ago. So we have great advances in the cognitive sciences in general, in understanding how pedagogy affects learning, but also in using new scientific techniques. And all that should be marshaled to the advantage of the learner and to help the instructor. To say that we don't need to immerse educators in research is, I think, profoundly conservative. It would mean that educators learn only from current teachers and are stuck in what we know today. And as this new knowledge advances, we want educators to have access to it and be in an environment that promotes research.
Absolutely. So along the lines of that, we also keep hearing that technology can revolutionize learning, But so far, that hype seems to outstrip the reality. What ultimately is the potential of education technology, and what must happen to realize that potential? And what is TC going to do to lead that effort?
Well, instructional technology is exciting. I mean, there are many things that, many tools, games, apps, et cetera, that engage students in such a way that they are great learning tools. But they have to be used well, which means we certainly have to prepare teachers to use them and to use them effectively as supplementing the curriculum. But B, the whole field of instructional technology is too divorced from all the research I was talking about a moment ago. Very often developers go out and develop an app based on, as one of our professors has said, an idea of education of learning rather than of real knowledge about how students learn. And because startups are on very lean funding, because the initial investors are taking lots of bets and just seeing which one will work, they don't invest a lot in research at the developmental stage. And by the time companies grow to afford good research, this product may already be in a lot of schools. We don't want this generation of students to be using products that aren't effective, even if they're engaged by them. If they're not learning, we need to understand that, and we need to improve them. So at TC, we have I would call it an endeavor called TC EdTech. It's not an organization, really, to help to connect research to the EdTech community.
That's great. And I imagine we'll see a lot of things just starting and really taking off, and we're excited to be part of that new chapter of education. So as we know, we focused a lot this past year on making a world of difference and focusing on not only the things that were coming up in our current times in our nation's history, and we seem to be facing a lot of challenges. And social justice is a phrase that's often cited as part of Teachers College mission. But what does that really mean? And are there ways in which the pursuit of social justice and the pursuit of scientific evidence-based research can be at odds?
Well, that's a really charged question. I think that our mission is fundamentally around fairness, and that everyone gets that, even very young children, and that we want to have a just and fair society. We want everyone respected. We want to be a welcoming society, and we want to be a society that tries its best to give everybody opportunity and to lessen inequality. So everything we do at TC is around that mission. It always has been. Our research is in support of it. I don't see a conflict there. We have our eyes wide open, and we let the data speak. So if certain approaches do seem to promote more equality, those are the ones that look promising. If there are issues that emerge as we study things that show that they're not achieving that goal, or if they're achieving learning goals but yet promote inequality, we want to point that out. So I don't see a conflict. I'm hoping that everything we do promotes social justice.
Absolutely. And TC seems to be increasingly emphasizing its strength in psychology. And within psychology, there seems to be a growing number of faculty who are looking at the questions of race, gender, sexual orientation, and other issues of identity. Why do you think that that's so important right now?
Well, those issues are central to the challenges we face today, but I would say, they may seem more urgent, but they've always been front and center. I think what we've noticed in psychology is that we do have very strong disciplinary backgrounds in cognitive, developmental, school psychology, organizational psychology, counseling psychology, clinical psychology, in these diverse fields. And it would be great if, since all of them, in all those fields, are addressing questions of race, questions of gender equality, etc., if they could pool their perspectives or see how they could address these problems from multiple perspectives in a collaborative and cooperative way. I think that's what we're seeing now, that not so much to restore a division of psychology, but to restore the notion of psychologists working together from different psychological perspectives.
So we've talked about a few areas of focus that Teachers College has been focusing on. I've sort of neglected in talking about that we're nearing the end of our campaign, the capital campaign for Teachers College. We have a historic goal of $300 million, and we're really excited that we're, I believe, 92% of the way, is it? I think.
No, I think it's more. It's 97%.
No,
Rosella.
sorry.
Yes. Right.
Why am my brain not thinking? Well, that's fantastic, and we're so grateful to all of our alumni and donors who have participated in the capital campaign, and we're barreling towards our finish line. And what does the campaign mean for Teachers College, and how will that advance the areas of research and practice that we're focusing on here at TC?
Right. Well, the main focus of the campaign has been scholarships, and that's what I'm proudest of, and that's where our final push will be. We've started over 150 new scholarships. We've added to existing scholarships alongside of increasing institutional financial aid. We've made great strides, but a lot remains to be done because our students are still graduating with too much debt. So we need to do much more. But that will be what I'm proudest of. Then, in addition, one can look at the new classrooms on the second floor of Grace Dodge and in a few other parts of the buildings, the Learning Theater, the Smith Learning Theater on the fourth floor of the Gottesman Libraries, and other advances in our infrastructure that also have made us a more 21st century and a livelier place to learn and to teach. And then finally, much of the campaign has been devoted to various projects that faculty have undertaken, and those have all been important. I mean, for example, the Community College Center, which is a major recipient of grants from foundations and from other donors, has made great advances in understanding how best to structure community college experiences so students actually complete and go on into the workforce.
Absolutely, and we've been very fortunate, as Susan mentioned, that we're 98% of the way to our goal. And for everyone tuning in, you might think that it's only these large gifts that are really making an impact, but we've seen that all of our alumni have participated, not all of our alumni, excuse me, but a higher percentage of our alumni that have participated in this campaign has led to greater success, and that's something that we're very proud of, that alumni are rallying around Teachers College, and any gift can help. So as Susan mentioned, there's over 150 endowed scholarships that you can add to. You can make your own scholarship. You can add just by participating in the TC Fund. So there's many ways to be involved and be counted among the donors of this historic campaign, and we hope that you'll take that opportunity to participate. But we've also been really excited of having this non-financial goal of the campaign and engaging more alumni than ever before, which I think has been really successful. We've had alumni events all over the world, engaged more and more people at first-time events, which is really exciting, and bringing that community together, getting our alumni on campus for activities like Academic Festival, or at our events that we're holding around the world, like these Global TC Days, which many of our communities are using as send-off opportunities for alumni to welcome the newest TC students and sort of share their advice and prepare them to make the move up to New York to come to Teachers College. So it's really been exciting to just see that community come together, to grow our online presence, to grow that TC network of professionals that are really making an impact all over the world. So I guess that's what we will kind of close with, is this opportunity to connect with Teachers College. We hope you've enjoyed the opportunity to get to know more about President Fuhrman's plans for the year ahead, and we're really excited to have a very busy and productive year, and we hope we'll see you at some of our events. And don't forget, we archive many of the events that we hold with speakers and lectures, so take a look online or take a look at our calendar of events, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you very much, Susan.
You're welcome.
Happy Global TC Day.
Happy Global TC Day.